Former New York City mayor and Democratic candidate for president Mike Bloomberg speaking with CBS's Gayle King, who we saw yesterday.
Yes, she was here.
She was here at the NASDAQ.
Because of the Viacom-CBS deal.
Yeah.
CBS, she was here with...
I saw Colbert and Trevor Noah, too, and in the bastion of capitalism. I'm just wondering if they were aware of where they were with all the, all the rhetoric.
Trevor Noah is pretty... He knows.
He was critical of the other candidates running against him for the Democratic nomination.
I watched all the candidates, and I just thought to myself, Donald Trump would eat them up.
You think all of the candidates who are running today, he would eat them up?
Let me rephrase it. I think that I would do the best job of competing with him and beating him.
Joining us now is political strategist and pollster Frank Luntz. And the whole country doesn't know Mike Bloomberg, Frank. And polls could rise as the country gets to know him. But the core of the party knows he's a billionaire, and he's stepping into, you're already hearing them say, whether Elizabeth Warren may not be the candidate, but she's certainly going to be outspoken about him not being what the party needs. So you're going to hear he's a billionaire. And then the middle of the country, they don't care he was mayor of New York, I don't think. Has he got a better chance than Joe Biden?
Well, lots of people have come and visited New York over the last 15 years, and they've seen the difference. First with Rudy Giuliani, then with Mike Bloomberg. This is not the same city of the 1970s and 1980s, and so they could see it with their own eyes. Second is that you see the way that Mike Bloomberg speaks. It's very calm, very laid back. There are a lot of Democrats who don't like the yelling, don't like the screaming, and they're looking for someone who's much more reasonable. Third, arguably, he's one of the most successful mayors in the country over the last 20 years in terms of the economy, unemployment, crime, jobs. He challenged the education establishment. This guy has a record of accomplishment, but the fact that he's a billionaire, it's amazing to me that Democrats who hate the labeling, who talk about equality, it's equality for everyone except the successful. So Mike Bloomberg may not be the mainstream of the Democratic Party, and in fact, I don't think he is. But in those states where independents and Republicans can vote, he's going to pick up a sizable chunk of the non-traditional Democrats.
Well, my point is on the geographic center of the left, they're not going to like him. And on the right, in the left, you got stop and frisk, which that's going to come back to haunt him as well. And also the obsequious sort of, pandering apology that he was unwilling to give until he entered the race. And then on the right, you got Big Gulp and nanny states and his two biggest philanthropic ventures after leaving office have been climate change and gun control.
But, Joe, you didn't think he was going to run in the first place. So let's
what
give
is that?
him
You said Hillary Clinton was going to be the next president the night before the last election, too. No, so if you want to talk about predictions,
said it
yeah, you
based
did.
On your exit polling, based on NBC's exit polling.
All right. So, but the chance on predicted on polls, he's at 10 cents. He's just above Andrew Yang at this point.
Okay, he's just getting started. Look, I'm not advocating for him, and I don't think he's going to be the nominee. But
you don't think he's going to be the nominee? Then
no.
Okay,
I still think it's Elizabeth Warren.
You're just playing devil's advocate to talk about him being a viable person, or what are you doing? Who's going to be the candidate then? And why do you keep talking about him as if you do think he's going to be the candidate?
Elizabeth Warren, because the reason why I love CNBC is that you're the only network where we can tell the truth, where we can analyze, where we can take a look at both sides, and that's what my job is.
But you're not the only arbiter of truth, Frank. You're not really there yet, are you?
No, I'm in search of the truth. I know I haven't found it yet. Maybe you've got it.
He would have liked to have answered.
But I'm in search of it. I think Elizabeth Warren is the most
We're going to run another sound. Let's run this other soundbite, and then we'll go back. Was anyone more wrong about the Trump economy? Paul Krugman or Mike Bloomberg at that speech?
Larry Summers.
Larry Summers. Here's another soundbite from that interview addressing diversity in the Democratic field.
Part of the conversation is, here we go, another old white gentleman. Isn't it time for change? Isn't it time for something new?
It may be, but lots of people can enter. There was no reason, if you wanted to enter and run for president of the United States, you could have done that. But don't complain to me that you're not in the race.
And that's the problem.
Frank, can I ask you a question? To me, the most interesting poll over the last couple of weeks has been the approval rating of President Trump among the African American community, which I think in the Emerson poll, I believe, was 34%. Now, that's approval rating. It's not necessarily support for the president, but it seems to me if the African American vote is anywhere near 10%, it's over for the Democrats. It's not even remotely a contest. Is that right?
I try to be careful about what I say about other pollsters and other polling. I don't believe it. I don't show it in my numbers. Donald Trump is even with Elizabeth Warren, and he's even with some of the Democratic candidates. Joe Biden does have an advantage. And we are 1 year before the election, so it's very dangerous to make any prognosis based on where we are. But Trump is not doing as badly among African-American men as he is among African-American women. And I do that there's a chance that he could have a breakthrough, a surprising breakthrough. But make no mistake, there is a racial divide in this country politically, and it is a disadvantage for the Republicans. But at the same token, the Democrats have been having trouble with white men, particularly working-class white men, over the last 10 or 15 years, and Donald Trump won because he was able to win working-class union voters in the northeastern and the industrial Midwestern states, unlike any Republican since Ronald Reagan. And for the Democrats to recapture the White House, they have to win these 50-something and 60-something white men that abandoned the Democratic Party because they felt ignored and forgotten.
So you think, bottom line, you think Elizabeth Warren comes back? That she peaked, she was down, she went up, she's back down. Some people think it was too early of a peak. You think she comes back when it's all said and done?
And the reason why is that she's got the organization, unlike any candidate except for Bernie Sanders. She's raising more money than any other candidate except for Bernie, and she's got a very strong message.
God, I could see a lot of mainstream people just holding their nose and voting for Trump.